Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Billionaire Habits. And this season, we're going to be doing the African edition. Season 1 was done in Dubai. And this season, we looked at Nigeria and Ghana and maybe one or two other countries. But we're starting with an amazing guest in the building. And indeed, yes, he's a billionaire, and even in dollars at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I call him Dr. Cosmas Maduka, the chairman, founder, Coscharis Group. How are you, sir?
Thank you, my friend Steven. It's a pleasure being on your program.
Tell me, this is the first time you have been on this informal type of...
Well, I will say absolutely correct.
Yes.
This is my first time for it, but don't worry yourself.
Well, I want to start with a lot of people do interviews like this, and it's business where I want people to know the informal part of you. Let them know the you outside of business, outside of, the typical thing people expect. So my first question would be, who was the first love of your life?
My wife is my first love of my wife. A young lady I met at a tender age of 17 plus,
Wow.
And by the grace of God, I tried to convince her to give me her hands in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And she accepted, notwithstanding supposedly the gap in terms of...
The age.
Not the age really, but what
The
you
status.
can call middle-class family where she hailed from, and comparing
To
from nobody
low
family
class.
where I'm coming from.
Yes.
So I think that was when my mother began to say that she's worried about my ambition for life.
Wow. Wow. Starting from even who you decide to marry.
Of course, because the person you call your wife is an expression of actually the person you marry helped to bring in part of you that people never see. Because a wife should be a reflection of the husband. So the lady you give hand and said, I marry you, should be the kind of person you want to be. You wanted to extend yourself through that very person. So there are part of you that nobody sees. But when you make a decision of a man you are going to hang out with as your husband, or a lady you are going to marry, that bring part of you that we do not see, that this is who you are.
What do you think made her to say yes to you?
Well, I later asked her in life, and she simply told me that from the day she set her eyes on me, she knew that I was a very purposeful person. Then was 45 years ago.
Yes.
My ease was matching my words in terms of grammar.
Yeah.
I was using cutlass to speak if it's as bad as it is today, you wonder what it was 40-something years ago. I used cutlass to cut it. And here is a promising young lady that has finished her secondary school, about to go to university. That's why his family thought I bewitched her, that when she gave her hand in marriage.
Yes. So for you, how were you able to evolve? If I watch one of your clips where you said you noticed people were mocking your grammar and you kept speaking it. And of course, you have improved so greatly.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to do that time?
It's natural. The way that practice makes perfect is not restricted on a one subject. You never rode a bicycle. You start, you fall, you get up. So a lot of people nobody measure on how many times you make mistake. What people want to see is the consistency of your improvement, and they will encourage you. We have grandchildren who walk and fall. Have you keep on counting? You fell 5 times. You you just see that effort. One of my grandchild, I'll just give him my left hand. He will held it like this, going like breeze is blowing him. I'm so happy that he's making effort to
walk.
Before you know it, 1 month, 2 months, his feet is getting more stronger on the ground. So that's how life is practical. There's anybody who says, until my feet is good enough, I don't want to rise up and somebody will laugh at me when I fall. That person will remain a lame person. He will never get up and walk in his life. So falling is a process of rising and learning. So people laughed at me. My father died when I was 4. So it was hard for my mother with 4 children in quick succession, second in the family. So attention was paid to the first son. So the rest of us are like second cousin in the family. So my mother had to do everything to get him to finish secondary, at least junior high school, and send me to his grandparents to go to the farm and help to cut palm trees and all those kind of stuff. But along the line, I came to Lagos here. I think 1973 or 72 to work for my uncle and sleep in the street of or in the shop in 88 Griffith Street, in bus stop in Butemeta.
Wow.
Myself and the guy that owns Chisco Enterprise, both of us, shower on the street in the morning before 5 a.m. And people young people wear short, white up and down, come out in the morning and look at me and say, look at this rat shine. And one day I took back and said, 5 years, 7 years from today, I will employ you.
Wow.
Yes.
What gave you that confidence? The audacity is just...
You have to believe in yourself, even when nobody believes in you. Nobody will believe you until you believe in yourself. The first believer of every other person is yourself. Okay? And you can trace it back in the Bible. Joseph, nobody sees anything, but he believed in himself. His children, his brethren went to tell their father. Everybody challenged him, but he never take back his word. He keep on saying, I saw myself as a prime minister in Egypt, So, and it was like, you are too big-mouthed. You are the least among 12 children. Who are you? Where did you come from? Which university did you go? The same thing with David. It was the father even forgot that it was his son. He said, when the priest said, is there no more? He was thinking, there was this one that followed sheep. He said, go and get him, because that's where the Spirit of God lies. So I've always believed in myself, even as a child,
This is even before you gave your life to Christ.
No, this is even before I gave my life to Christ. But of course, when I became a Christian, I got the laws of God, which is the foundation. I knew I'm standing now on authority. So I then exploited it, and the rest was history.
Wow. A lot of people always believe that if you are rich, you are probably going to go to hell. Wealth makes you sin. I mean, we see you do evangelism on the streets with your success and wealth. How true is that myth that rich people cannot serve God well?
Let me start first that if anybody think that wealth will put you in hell, that person will have a culture shock if you ever get to heaven.
I love that.
Because heaven is the weightiest place that ever exists.
Wow.
The street is paved of gold,
very true.
Things you never imagine.
Very true.
So when people always think that there is a special place in heaven made for poverty, on the contrary, if you are a citizen of a country, you should reflect the country where you hail from.
Very true.
When Nigeria was good, we were part of the Commonwealth.
Yes.
So we don't need visa to go to England. We don't need visa to go to Australia. We don't need visa to go to, most of the Southeast Asia. Why? Because the wealth of our country is reflected in us, and we get part of it.
Yes.
So, but when the wealth is no more common, everybody has to answer his father's name because you need to now get a visa and queue up. The real truth about it is that if you are a kingdom citizen and you understand that you're a kingdom citizen, it takes you to another level to know that poverty is not a culture of heaven. And let me put it this way so that people can understand. The word poor does not refer to people who lack. Wow. The word poor refers to unproductive people. When you say you are poor, it means you are not, you are unproductive. That's the common word. But a lot of people have misconstrued that grammar, that when you are poor, it means you are lack. No. When we talk about country. They measure their, wealth. They say these are poor country. It's because of what you produce as a nation in the gross production of that nation is not meeting up. Then they refer you as a poor nation, not because you lack anything.
That's powerful. I mean, that's really powerful. And looking at nations, you have, because a lot of people think that the Coscharis group is just a Nigerian group. You have expanded to Ghana for over 30 years. What other African country, and what's the African vision? Why expand beyond Nigeria?
Well, it was clear to me when I started where I wanted to go. It was like a journey of voyage. You may not see clearly all the routes that will take you there, but I saw the end before my journey. And that's what vision is all about,
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
I wrote a vision that will portray Coscharis, and I said Coscharis will create excellent product and services to their customers, giving them the highest value for their money.
Yeah.
And will plow back resources into the campaign by growing stronger and waxes into the future.
Yeah.
And so it was never a journey of one day. It has always been clear to me that I'm going to go places. But a journey of 1,000 miles need to start from one place. So we then started in a very informal way because my boss gave me 200 naira in 1976.
Yeah.
My senior brother said, leave it and let us go. I asked him, do you have anyone to give me when we get home? He didn't have any. So I said, why are you asking me to live with this one?
Yeah.
I looked my uncle straight into the eye. I said, Uncle, I served you well. I worked for you with all my heart. Why are you treating me this way? You gave me 200 naira. Do I buy a carton of plug? You're supposed to set me up. After 6 years of apprenticeship, you need to give me a store, put merchandise, and give me capital. Now, what do I do with this? He said, whatever you want to do, do. I looked him straight into the eyes, eyeball to eyeball. So you talk about my confidence.
Yes.
I said, Uncle, make a note. 5 years from today, if you had who I am, your head will be spinning. It shook him. There are things you don't expect 15 years boy to say.
Yes.
He turned back and said, well, I know you will succeed. I said, thank you very much, because that is what I needed from him, that blessing. At that point, I told my senior brother, let us go. And we went and teamed up and formed a company called Maduka Brothers. Within 3 months, we started defiling in ideology. The same thing that appropriated me. I said, look, we're going to create an institution. We have to incorporate our company. My brother said, incorporate. How much do we have?
Exactly.
These people, when people have made money and become wealthy, then they that time we have tradition that they share limited. They become, how much do you have that you want to incorporate the company? So, based on that ideological difference, within 6 months we parted way.
Wow.
He went his own way and I went my own way. And I continued my vision keep on driving me. I cooperated my company, went into importation and trying to achieve the goals I set for myself, because it was clear.
What were you importing then?
It was the first thing I imported was motorcycle spare parts, winker switch, that's the light for Honda 175, and then the gear pedal for Honda 175. These are my two first consignment that I imported from Japan. The truth is that I had a clear vision where I wanted to go, because before I turned 15, I wrote 5 things I want to accomplish by 21 and hung them on my bed. I lived a purposeful life. Okay?
What were the 5 things?
I wanted to live in 3 bedrooms apartment of my own before 18 years.
Wow.
And by 17 years, I was not living in my parents' house.
Wow.
My senior brother was still with my mother when I moved into an apartment.
Wow.
The second thing is that I want to have a wife by 20.
Wow. You people get married early in those days.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's not about getting married, because traditionally in my place, nobody got married by 20. It was
true.
completely
That's
out
true.
of norm
That's
what
true.
I did.
That's
But you see, a vision is something you see. It's not a collective thing. Your own vision drives you, and you are not living for people's approval. You are consumed. I am passionate about it. To have a wife by 20, I beat it by 3 months.
Wow.
September 23rd, 1978.
Yes.
I took a lady to altar. I turned 20 on December 24th that year.
Wow.
Under 19, I was under 20 years when I got married.
Wow.
Okay?
Number 3.
I want to have a son by 21. Not a child. I say a son by 21. Of course, I made love to my wife. But God knew that these 2 babies cannot be making baby. And shut the womb.
Wow.
And waited. My first son came when I was 26.
Wow. Wow.
The fourth thing is that I want to have a car by 23.
Wow.
By 22, I bought a Volkswagen Passat, blue color from Mandelas with 3,000 kilometers.
We need this picture. I would love to have all this.
So you need to have seen the picture of it. So by 23, I own my own car. And then I wanted to be a millionaire by 25.
Wow.
And I made my first $2 million United States dollar at 24, not at 25. The rest is history.
Hey!
So you have to be clear about the goal and then really let it be your consuming passion.
Yeah.
And for you to know how serious this is.
This is serious.
When I was 23, my wife was in the front seat of my car. My mother was at the back. And I was driving, going a journey. When this thing comes to me, I speak like a man who is really deaf and dumb. I suddenly said, time is running out on me. My mother said, what's the problem? I said, 2 more years, I will be a millionaire. My mother said, Cosmas! I said, ma. He shouted again, Cosmas. I said, ma, when my mother called you 2 times like that, you know there's trouble. He said, please, can we make this journey in peace? I said, Mom, what's the problem? He said, this your boasting turned my stomach.
Wow.
I said, Mom, I never insulted you. I just told you what I plan to do. And you better believe it that I will do it. He said, if you ever repeat that again, I get out of the car. My mother was a very strong woman. I stopped the car, wind the glass down. It's not a power window. Get to her ear. I say, Mom, you listen. 2 more years, 2, I will be a millionaire. You want to get down? He said, of course. I opened the car. My mother get down. I banged the car, start the car. My wife said, are you out of your mind? That's your mother. I said, if you want, I also drop you. I drove away. I never went back to pick her.
Jesus.
But my mother enjoyed the money. I bought her a Mercedes 190 those days, which is really a lady's car.
Wow.
And she was a good driver.
Wow.
She lived to see it. It was not a history, a story.
Did she ever look at you and say, maybe I was wrong, or try to explain that why she was
the only thing she told me later is that she has always felt concerned who I was. I said, by how? He said when she was pregnant about me, that most of the time he fought with my father.
Wow.
But the surprising thing is that I wasn't born exactly at 9 months, because I've asked her, why didn't you wait for 1 more day? He said, because you were in a hurry to come out. Because I was born in December 24. So I was asking my mother, why didn't you wait 1 more day? So that it'll be Christmas, have birthday with Jesus. He said, because you refused to wait. You were in a hurry to see the world.
Wow.
So in that discussion, my mother said that what frightened them is that in 6 months I started walking.
Wow.
I said, no, that cannot be. That's what my mother told me. Whether it's true or lie. My mother told me in 6 months I started walking. So they became really afraid that there was something extraordinary about me.
Wow.
So, these are stories you are told you never dare. You cannot say what the truth is. The only thing is that I knew that by 14 years plus or 15, when I came in contact with the person of the risen Lord Jesus Christ and met him as my savior, my life was totally revolutionized because I had a clear sense of purpose, why I am here on earth, who I am, and what I am here to do. So from that time, I never want everybody to be my friends. I started choosing my friends, okay? Because
why is it important to select your friends?
Because the people you hang out with will if you stay around negative people, there's no way you are not going to be negative. You need to. I had things I wrote down that I look at
Yeah, you
every
wanted
night
to.
before I go to bed.
Did you read it in a book or someone told you to do it?
I never. It was just something that came upon me. Like I studied the Bible and read Habakkuk 2:20, where it says a vision is appointed to speak, although it may tarry, but it must surely come to pass. Write it down. So I wrote it down and put it on the wall. It's like a ritual to me because it's the last thing I will look at before I go to bed. So when I sleep in the bed, I'm
The law of
dreaming,
attraction.
seeing myself in Japan, seeing myself discussing with white people, clearing containers. When I get up in the morning, I do my morning prayer. Before I go out, I look at those 5 things.
Wow.
So when I meet you on the street, you are talking to me. You don't know the way my mind is working. I'm listening to you, but I take you and put you inside that 5 dream. If there's no way you support it to make it happen, I cut you off because you're a distraction.
Wow.
Any young lady that I move with that asks me for sex, I cut her off.
Wow.
Because why? Because unwanted child cannot allow me to accomplish those things that I planned.
Wow.
So I was some people begin to say I'm too arrogant, I am this, and because people can always, badmouth you and all of that.
Yes.
But it was a life of purpose. I was driven by my vision and passion for accomplishing a goal.
I mean, today, a lot of young people, want to fit in. Obviously, all your life, you never fit in or bothered about fitting in. Why is that important for young people? Because, a lot of young people watch this podcast, and it may be difficult for them. But what's the benefit of not necessarily bothering about whether you fit in or not?
Well, it's two-way. It's two-way because it's a thin line.
Yes.
Bible says, let your moderation be known to all men. We need our parents' approval and endorsement.
Yes.
But let me be honest to you that many times we parents are dream killers, including myself. Okay? I rode motorbike when I was 11 years.
Wow.
I had a child that was 16 years that wanted to ride motorbike. I said, you will not. You will kill yourself. Why do I think I had a better sense than him? My last boy did everything to ride a motorbike. I refuse. My only son that drives motorbike today, my third son, did that out of disobedience.
Wow.
And today I go out biking with him. I have BMW 1600cc, Suzuki 1300cc. So he drive my Suzuki. Now we go out road together on weekends and things like that. But so you never. It's good to follow instruction, but sometimes it's good to miss road to find road. If you never miss road, you never discover road. At least if you miss road, you know there's no road in that place. That is a dead point, and that will bring some sense into you. We try to micromanage our children so much, try to do this. That's what really happened with many parents. And then at the end of the day, you see that child that are born in average family, where the parents are taking good care of him, always standing on the gap, not willing to take risk. Life is about risk.
Very true.
At the end of the day, the parents will say, be careful. We have done everything to raise you up. We do this for you. Don't blow it away. But that child can never take chance. You see a child that was born from nobody family, eating in the garbage and struggling. He had nothing to prove to anybody, but he has a passion for success. He will come and move from nowhere.
Yes.
Life itself is a school.
Yes.
Because a lot of people like to tell me that I've not been to school. I've been to University of the World.
Come on.
And I graduated with distinction.
Come on.
And if you don't like my degree, you cannot quarrel with my results.
Come on. The way I love to put it is that, result terminate insults.
Yeah.
Powerful. So are you saying that failure is not the opposite of success, but it's a pathway to success?
Absolutely. You learn something if you are willing to learn. Every mistake you make in life is a school. If you learn from it, you will improve. But if you continue to make the same mistakes, then you're a big fool.
I mean, this is really exciting. Recently, you expanded to Japan.
Yes.
And you took the company and made it wasn't profitable. In 6 months, you turned it around.
That's correct.
Can you tell us more about that? What's the company name? What did they do? And how did you turn it around?
Frankly speaking, it's one of my life dreams. I have several life dreams that I wrote down, because people think things just happen by accident or by luck. No, not at all. Remember that my uncle gave me 200 naira in 1976. People don't know that it used to be that when people are taking pictures, if I come there, other people run away because they don't like the way I dress. I was nobody that nobody want to associate with. The first loan I took from bank was African Continental Bank, ACB. One Mr. Dulu was the manager at Nnewi, 1,000 naira. And they told me that I have to turn over. I didn't even make any sales. The following day, I went to pay 250 naira. The other day, I paid 250. The other one, I paid 300. And by 7 months or 6 months, that money became 750 naira. I said, Chai, is that how bank loan is? Put my 2 hands on the head. And I returned that money to ACB. And I decided I'm going to grow with internal generated revenue. Until we built the Costaris Plaza on 65 Adiolo Odeko. I never borrowed money from any bank.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
I worked with my internal...
That was how many years in business?
That was over, call it 15 years in business.
Before you took your first loan. And
before
that's important.
So I've always known I'm going to go places. I have plans for it. So having a company in Japan was not an accident. My first ambition, I think like a mad person, because the truth is that whatever your mind can conceive
it can achieve.
Listen to me. When we talk conceive, many people don't understand it. It's like a thought process, a thought that crosses your mind. Nothing changed in a woman's body until she conceived.
Very true.
Conception has to take place. That's taking. And once a woman taking, her body physiology change. She starts spitting and behaving something because there's a life into it. So when we say when your mind conceive, it's not just that you think about something. After 5 minutes, you are thinking about another thing. It means something click in. You will achieve that thing if you focus on it. That conception. And number one is that I want to build this business from ground zero to where I will never have money need to do the business.
Wow.
And what does that mean?
Wow.
I wanted to raise my business where I can borrow money from Nigerian's bank on a negative pledge. When you build a business to where money is not a problem, there's no new business you cannot take. Any business becomes easy for you. If you calculate the risk and be sure it's something you can mitigate. So that's where people begin to think I had a machine that mint money or print money. No, it's just that people trust me with their resources and things like that. So from that, I could expand my business, from automobile, from selling automobile component, because other people really don't know what our business is. People thought I Koshari sell Rolls Royce, sell BMW, sell Jaguar Land Rover, and all of that. No.
What percentage of the empire is the car business?
Frankly, the car business is less than 20% of our business.
Wow.
Yes, of course. Our real business is that we are pharmaceutical of automobile. I don't care. Any one of you that drive car in Nigeria is my customer.
Wow.
You can't drive your car 1 year without me shopping your money.
Wow.
If you don't buy my plug, you buy my battery. If you don't buy my battery, you buy my masking tape, or you paint your car with my car.
Wow.
No, so you can't. It doesn't matter which car you drive.
Wow.
You don't know it's from us because we are getting it from third hand or fourth hand. But we are the pioneers of all of those things. So our real core business is pharmaceutical of automobile. Just like human being. Within 6 months, you go to drug shop and get some analgesic. You drive car. I am happy any day that there's no riot in Nigeria. Car is driving on the road. If you even had an accident, that makes it better.
I mean, so the Japan business, is it automobile?
It's automobile.
Parts?
It's automobile. It's automotive component. It's
Okay.
a company that is OEM, that deal with the manufacturers that produce for Toyota, that produce for Honda, Nissan, and the rest of the 10 that export in other part of the world that we took over.
Wow.
Yes. So today
Toyota is your client?
No. Today we are direct customer of the manufacturer that makes for Toyota.
Hey.
So the same, we are not buying from Toyota. When you get the parts from Toyota, there's already about 40% markup on it.
Wow.
But we buy from where Toyota buy. We buy from where Honda buy. So that's why we can be competitive. Okay. So then this
But
is.
the company was struggling before you bought it.
Yeah, sure.
So what
That's
did you do to turn it around?
Of course, I've always have an idea. This is something I've done all through my life. What it takes to run business is to be sure you get the right kind of people, do proper planning, and then support the business where it's a little weak financial with all of that. So we put all those indices in place. In the first 1 year, we broke even.
Wow.
Yeah.
1 year.
1 year.
Wow.
I earn salary in Japan today. I have, I'm working on my residency. Now it's not yet, but I pay tax in Japan. I have my medical card in Japan, which I've been to hospital.
Technically, you're Japanese already.
Sure. I'm trying to blend into the system.
Wow. I mean, this is exciting.
Nobody has done this.
Yes.
As manufacturers are concerned, there had never been a foreigner anywhere in the world that came to Japan and take off a business of OEM. We are the pioneer of it. Maybe some people will start to get the idea in the future to do what we did. Many people cannot believe that
have
it is true.
Have you gone to maybe a business school? Because this depth of business knowledge.
I have been to a business school. I've been. But it's not the business school of Harvard or INT. I learned under the greatest businessman of the world.
Yes.
That the first businessman that instituted the Global 500 company of the world. And his name is the Lord Jesus Christ. He said, I must be about my father's business.
Yes.
I learned the principle of growing things and making things happen. You watch him when he did his campaign.
Yes.
And after many customers gathered, he told his disciples, entertain them, feed them.
Yes.
And the people were saying, what are you talking about? We are in the desert. Where did you create any buffet here? Because they are natural. They can't see beyond what they can possess. He said, don't worry yourself. Don't panic. What do you have? Said there was a young boy here with his lunch box, 2 pieces of bread and five rolls. He said, bring it. He showed it to the creator. An atomic energy coming to it. Cook bread and fishes. He gave it to his disciples, teaching them delegation, because he could have done it by himself. I said, give them to eat. As they were giving the people, it was multiplying.
Yes.
And after you fed them, when your customers are happy, you don't need to look for them. The following day, this guy jumped inside boots looking for Jesus everywhere he is. Customer entertainment.
Yes.
In the same virtue, he taught them administration. Because before he gave them to it, he said, sit them in 50s, sit them in 60s, sit them in 70. Because he need to number them. He moved into another scale, financial management. When they finish,
avoid waste.
Don't allow anything to waste. Pick the crops on the ground, put them together, and 12 baskets were filled from what fell on the ground.
Wow.
What is the Lord of creation looking from things that fell on the ground? But he's trying to tell you how Nigerians are living with wastages and mismanagement. Anything you mismanage, you will never be able to build it. So I learned from his school. Because when Joseph went to Egypt and provide solution, what need to be done to avert poverty from the Pharaoh fellow knew clearly that this does not come from University of Egypt. Must have come from another intelligence. So God don't give you cash. God download ideas in you. Look at people who have made difference in the world. It is a creativity that they have developed that makes them money.
Yes,
if you're able to solve problem, money will follow you. Money is a reward for problem solving. So money is like a tennis game. You win point when you serve. You make any point you lose at your service point, you will never recover. So if you are losing point in service, you are going to fail. You are going to lose that match. So when you serve your customers, when you do business, whatever you do, score point at that point so that you leave an impeccable impression on the person you deal with for reason to come and look for you tomorrow.
Wow.
So that's what differentiates us from other people.
Powerful. My next question would be, the young ones feel that a lot of young people have an issue with the older generation. Those who are poor feel that, well, it was, your generation that ate their own life and your own life together. Children of the rich feel guilty that they just arrived at affluence. A lot of them even wish maybe they had the opportunity to struggle and are wondering whether they deserve what their parents are leaving to them. What is your advice to younger people coming up who have all these sentimental feelings?
Just to let them know that success is not a lucky break. That success is predictable.
Okay. So it's not by luck.
It's not by luck. If you understand the principles of the law, success does not segregate. It doesn't know whether you're a Japanese or you're Nigerian. If you follow the laws and obey them, you will gain success.
Are you saying even in this today Nigeria, a young man watching you, 17, 15, 19, can still become like you 40 years from now?
Let me tell you that many young billionaires are being created in Nigeria. Some of them I have met and I knew. Some of them, people I have mentored, people who had listened to me. Now, these things we are hearing, it's not for everybody. 1 million people can be hearing me now. But 1 or 2 people can take something out of it. The same thing when you go to church, every sermon is not for everybody. This pastor is preaching, but there's somebody who is going to cut a vision from what he said and run with it. You see his life revolutionize. So what I'm telling young people today, because truth to it, if I want to be honest to myself, the politicians of this country has never helped. But it is also not correct that the young people today has lost completely hope and confidence in the country. That only thing that come to their mind is how to leave this country, no matter whatever it costs. It's not new.
The Japa syndrome.
It's not new. I went to America the first time in my life in 1979.
Wow.
And when I decided to come back to Nigeria, everybody was asking me, are you out of your mind? What are you coming to do? It's long when people say this country is used. By 1979, people have already said that.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I remember vividly, a lady asked me at the airport, what is my frustration? That I didn't go
This is 1979.
79. I didn't go to school. Because then, America was still good. You come into America, you go get social security. I have social security that is 1979. That social security didn't say valid for work or not valid for work. So I got a driver's license. So I'm already blended into the system.
Wow.
He said, you take a loan and go to school and do these things. I told him I'm coming back to Nigeria. They just think something was wrong. So I tell people, don't cause this country as bad as it is. Have optimism that tomorrow will be better than today. I'm not saying it's the best country in the world, but when you lose hope in something, nothing that you lose hope will bless you. Nothing you cause will bless you. So because of this, many of them are not even making any effort of any sort of trying to see what is possible here. This trip I made that I came back, you cannot believe. I left to Japan. I was in my office for 1 week, went to China. About 7 of my staff joined me.
Yeah.
We went for business. I left China. I went to Laos for a few days. From Laos, I went to Vietnam. From Vietnam, I went to Paris, to Amsterdam, and Rotterdam before coming back. You will not believe that when I left Laos 2 days after, I got a call. It was a Nigerian. Where am I? I said, I left Laos. He screamed. I said, what's the problem? He said, I'm stuck in Laos. I said, who are you? He mentioned his name. I said, how did you come here? He said he used to be in Aspanda, that the clearing agent deceived him. And, not clearing, that an agent, ticketing agent, refused him.
Yeah.
I said, so what are you doing in Laos? He said, he's looking for greener pasture.
Ah.
I said, and then you came to Laos, where $1 is 220,000.
Hey.
You will use $4 to feed yourself. So how much will you earn in an hour here? What are you doing here? He said, that's the problem. He's stuck. He doesn't even know what to do, how to come back.
Wow.
To find out that this boy came from my village, he's from Nnewi,
Wow.
from Uruaga precisely.
Wow.
I said, bro, jump the next flight and start coming back to Nigeria. Jump, because when they tell you these stories,
Yes.
you think you just go there and pick money in the street.
Yes.
This I can never have believed in my life.
Wow.
But that's the level of desperation the Nigerian young people have to go out of the country, believing that nothing happens here. But if you stay here, walk. There's nothing wrong to walk. The first command God gave to a man is to walk. God never gave a man a wife without giving him a job. After he created Adam in the Garden of Eden, he put him in the Garden of Eden and said, dress it and keep it and protect it. Take a job. Learn from
What
that
if
job.
there's no job? That's what they're arguing.
If there's no job, if you are desperate
volunteer.
and so on to say, not only volunteer, go and carry block. If I tell you some of the things I did to become who I am, including working pro bono, because somebody is going to see you and see that passion, that hunger.
Yeah.
You never succeed without hunger.
Yes.
Nobody will teach you to be hungry. Success is a hunger. It has to be intuitive. It has to come from inside that I'm going to make a difference and I cannot remain the way I am. Somebody will pick it because, something will connect and just make a little difference in your life.
Yeah.
But you see somebody who have not that kind of hunger, no matter whatever you throw at him will never make any difference because he's never really hungry to succeed.
Wow. That's powerful. My next question would be, what do you do to relax? And, because you look like a very serious man.
Yes, if I tell you that I've taken 1 hour walk this morning, will you believe?
Wow.
Yesterday I did 2.5 hours
Walk.
You
just walk around your neighborhood.
Just walk around my neighborhood, clear my mind.
Yes.
In the last 1 month, I've walked about over 200 kilometers because I walk 6 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
So if I do 5 hours, I know how many I have done. So, and then in the evening, I go and ride my motorbike.
Okay, with your son.
With my son, but people don't know it's me because I'm in my gears, clears my head, clear my crash helmet, cover my head, but I cruise on my back. So I stay relaxed and all of those things are things that...
Do you watch movies?
No, I don't watch. You don't
have TV?
I'm a strange person. I raised 5 kids without television. Till today, I don't have TV in my house. No CNN, no cable TV, nothing. I don't watch television. My wife used to be my TV. So I watch her. And she watched me. We watch each other, So
I love that.
Until it's broken. So that's the thing. I don't watch TV. Even, in fact, people believe I'm a strange person. Yes, I said true. I've traveled now for 1 month and a half.
Yes.
And I've stayed in a hotel for all these days.
Yeah.
Not for 1 day did I turn the screen on. I don't know where the remote control is. I'm so used to it that it doesn't mean anything to me. That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
I have things that program that I had to do. I don't watch TV. So I don't watch soccer. You can be playing war soccer. I play ping pong at the time you are playing soccer. After you tell me the result, because I don't want anything to make my heart ache.
But which other game do you play? Do you play
I
tennis?
play ping pong. I play table tennis. I used to be the chairman of Nigeria Table Tennis Federation. And that's why I tell people who quarrel with my result. I say, under my watch and my leadership, I took Chegu Toriola to England in Manchester.
Wow.
We beat UK. We beat United Kingdom in became a single champion in Commonwealth game. I took them to Australia in Melbourne, where I beat the whole Commonwealth in team event under my watch. I've been 5 Olympics. The first was Atlanta 96. The second was Athens 2000. The third was the first was Atlanta 96, Athens 2000, Sydney 2004, Beijing 2008, and London 2012. And I retired in 2016. So,
what's the secret of raising great people? Because when you talk about,
it's about believing in themselves, talking to people to believe
in themselves,
that they can. No single person, that's what Henry Ford said, living, that is incapable of doing more than he or she think he can do. But an average human being limits himself. You tell him to do this, this is a wrong lady here. Let's tell this lady that she can jump up and say on top of this table. She'll tell you, is there a spring in my leg? Okay, let 2 lions drop here to eat her up. Before all of us, you see her hang on top of this place. Because death is imminent.
Yes.
She will reach her full potential. Something will release adrenaline in her that she will. When she finished, she'll be asking herself,
how did I get to this?
Is it true that it's me that did this? But when you are in your comfort zone, nobody grow in his comfort zone. So sometimes I tell people, the reason why you are in this condition is you are not hungry enough. You are too comfortable. When you are really hungry, you eat in a garbage can. And if you eat in a garbage can, you know that's not where you belong to eat. Before I became where I picked black soap. I don't know what Yoruba people call it. I ate it. I thought it was a yam.
Jesus.
It was foaming in my mouth for 1 week because there was no toothpick then. I make it again. My teeth is foaming.
Jesus.
Because not that I put hand inside the pot to take food. I thought some yam fell on the ground where they did yam vegetable and pick a black soap and eat. If you do that kind of thing, you grow allergy for poverty. You don't want it.
Hey. I like that.
Yeah.
You're allergic to poverty.
Yeah.
So a lot of conversation are coming up in recent time that even in the church, when you look at our pastors, they're aging, they're in their 70s, 80s. In the business world as well. I mean, your generation, are aging. What is, one, your own succession plan? And what's the best succession plan that people at your level need to be thinking of?
Well, currently, 3 of my children are in my business.
Okay.
But I told them I'm just observing them to know whether they have what it requires to really hand the company over to them. Because as we speak now, I'm speaking to Inchcape. I'm sorry to mention the name, but it's a company that's quoted in New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.
We have signed, confidential agreement to buy into Coscharis.
Okay.
But their prerequisite is that it must be 51%.
Okay. I know.
Everybody think I should not do it.
Yeah.
But I'm driven by value. So they've done a due diligence in us. I'm waiting for them. If they pay me the right price, I take the money. I'm being honest to you. But I'm also observing my children to know whether, because they are rich men's children, they don't have the hunger that I have.
Yeah.
And I will not blame them.
Yeah.
Because my father, I didn't even know him.
Yes.
So I didn't even get bread or granite from my father. So why are you talking about, So, but they grew up, when they ask for 10 naira, we give them 20 naira. So they don't, so their hunger for money is not the same with the one I have. When I have to go and buy food for somebody, and then the money that I supposed to eat food that day, I save it, for future growth, just to make sure. So this is completely, so make the expectation I have from them that is totally unrealistic. I must admit that to myself. But good kids.
Yes,
good kids have a very strong father with the discipline. I never allowed any of them to drive car until they graduated. They didn't, they went to Unilag. I didn't send them abroad. Make them go through the culture. My daughter is an American citizen, but I say you must go to Diaraba. Whether you stand up in top of toilet or whatever, you are Nigerian to be first and foremost. That this time for church, there's no driver. I said, jump Okada, come to church.
Wow.
When she graduated, you say, when I graduate, I said, I start you with a Chinese car. Drive it for 1 year. If you don't have accident with it, she drove MG Chinese car for 1 year, no scratch. Then I move her to a Range Rover. I'm very strict. So train them without revision. They are good kids, but the hunger I have, still they don't have. So, but I respect them. None of them is involved in drug and anything, no whatever. Good clean record. So these are decent children by any means and standard. Okay, so having said all of that, I'm watching them to see, is any of them had the hunger to take the mantle of leadership? But successional plan is key for us in Coscharis. As a matter of fact, in December last year, I told them I want to quit the campaign.
Wow.
And now that I'm 65, I'm going to be 66 in December. So that I can watch and see the transition. They said, no, Dad, I said, I thought I'm blocking road for all of you. I thought you were already ready to run without me. It's good sometimes to know your value. Exactly. Everybody say I should stay. I said, okay, I'm staying, but please work hard the next 5 years because I can't come here with walking stick. Okay? So my idea is that I find something else that makes me happy with the gospel. I want to go tell people, young people, go to universities, teach and move around and, continue to be a fertilizer to the young generation. That's what I want to dedicate the rest of my life doing. So I gave this my best shot. Anybody who will judge me fairly will know I set unprecedented record. People are going to beat this record, but for now, nobody has it.
Come on!
So as time goes on, people will draw inspiration and beat it because I've inspired a lot of young people who are coming up doing something. So succession is key to if when I left, actually your quality of leadership is judged by what happened after your demise.
Very true.
So if there cannot be Coscharis after I left, then all the things I'm talking is garbage because I didn't practice it. I did not put it in place. So we're very clear about succession and it is a key in our organization. In fact, when I said I'm going to leave, I was not living on a team here. I was to leave for somebody to step into my position already. And it was clear in my head who the person would be and what the movement would be. And I can tell you on my honor that with or without me, Coscharis is a company I built. In the last 35 years, I've never signed check in Coscharis.
Wow.
Which is most self-made people. These are their most critical area where they can't give up. So I've learned the secret of trusting people and, empowering people to do something.
Very true.
My secretary, my PA, some of them are part of signatory to the account of Coscharis. So I empowered people to run the company with or without me. So that's why I can travel for 1 month and no business is stopped. There are people who are responsible for inventory and payment and they make sure it is done. So we build a successful organization that we are very proud of, that we can call Africa multinational and we're treated like that. Okay. So where we can borrow on a negative pledge and people who have done business with us have told other people that we're good people. Actually, people come today to do business. I say no. So I pick and choose who I do business with. So succession is key. There's no compromise about it. If we don't get it right, then we have wasted our time and life. So there are people who we are mentoring, building, hoping they are willing to show the hunger that will put the confidence to give them the mountain. Because I'm not going to hand you over the company because you are my son. There are people who have put 30 years of their life, 40 years of their life with me. I can't afford to let those people down, okay? Because if there's no custodians tomorrow, their own family is crumbled. So I need to keep on that level of confidence they built in me and making sure that when I exit, my business partners are not going to suffer. Their business is going to continue because it's dependent on my own business. If anything happened to Cosmas, it had global, effect that not everybody will feel. But there are people who their business is dependent on how well we are doing. Their own business is going to suffer, and we can't afford to let them down.
Okay, I mean, the audience will crucify me if I don't ask this question, right? There was a man you had helped who was a senator and over $200 million gone. And recently you released a statement to say it was an old experience, you've forgiven, you've moved forward.
You are talking about Efanyo, but
yes.
Okay, it's my kid brother.
Yes.
I'm a man who doesn't dwell in the past.
Yes.
I'm a very forward-looking person. Yes, there was something that went wrong in 2011.
Yes.
We must not, trivialize it.
Yes.
But we have moved on. We have, Ifeanyi, I've gone to his house. He has come to my house, eat my food.
Yeah.
He came for my wife funeral, brought gift for me, ate my food.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I've found out that issue I had with him that we have resolved. Yeah. That each time there's an election or politics, people bring it up and want to use me for election. I told them, look, I'm too good for this kind of thing.
That's true.
I'm not campaigning for him, neither am I campaigning against him. But we have become friends again. Yeah. We meet recently in a funeral, embrace each other. Yes. I call him on phone, he called me midnight, daytime. Currently, as we are speaking now, there's a favor I've asked of him for one elderly woman in my village, who had a property here that somebody is trying to take, and he's on it. He's been working on it. So I have a rapport with him. Yeah. So I don't know why people should carry somebody else's enmity or
they try to use it
or begin to get drunk for an alcohol another person drank. So something went wrong, but we resolved it and we've moved on.
Awesome. So my final question would be about Akintayo, right? We met at the airport. I think that was the first time.
Sure.
Even though I was personally shocked because I saw you just on the shirt, and then I think your Bible and all that, no entourage, nothing, and since then the relationship has grown. What made you to give someone like me an attention? I noticed you intentionally hardly say no to any of my requests. What's the reason why?
Stephen, what has happened is that, look, I am a purpose-driven person. I knew where I am coming from. And I observe people and see what is the level of hunger in this person's heart. Where is this person planned to go? Let me tell you, that's why we said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. We are in this room, you cannot see anything, but there are thousands of voices moving here. Thoughts are flying. When you are thinking, you are sending a signal into the atmosphere. When another thinking that is in sync with your own will drop down. That's how people, these are laws of life that I learn that keep me, I will never, whether the whole Anambra State come against me to fight Efanyi, I will never wish anybody evil. I will never think anything wrong about people. That's how I keep my life clean. So I continue to attract good things and favor.
Yeah.
You must have my story about this young man called Stanley.
Yes.
That always fool around. And I was avoiding him like a plague. If I see him, I move.
Yeah.
But this boy keep on coming close to me, doing everything.
Yeah.
I said, I will never fall for this. I will never. One day, just coming down from Hilton Nikon, this boy met me by the step, grabbed my 2 feet.
Yes.
And fall on the floor.
Yeah.
I should lay hands on him. It was like embarrassing. I said, Stanley, let's go to the... He said, no, here. I said, let's get to the corner. He said, please, here. I want people to see it. Here.
Yeah.
I said, no, I can't do this. He said, you are the angel of the God that I see you as like that. You could see the faith, the hunger.
Yes.
I lay hands. I said, God, create another Cosmas Maduka. This young man. I prayed my heart out. As I was praying, I felt a hand enter my... I held a hand. I thought it was taking something. He stuck 50,000 naira in my pocket. Young people like that will be expecting you to give them money.
Yes. Yeah.
But he learned some biblical principle.
Yeah.
A gift is a distraction to a king. The king is not looking for you to give him a gift. People have given me Rolex watch, guaranteed trust, and something like that as a Christmas gift. Some of them I didn't open them till after 5 years. I never opened the box where the gift is. A gift distracts a king. So you need to give a king a gift that will cut his attention. I entered the motor. I said, who is this boy? What did I do for him? How much does he earn? Why should he give me 50,000? This battle was in my hand. But it wasn't long. Friendship was born. We became friends. I remember driving from airport, coming into Abuja. My phone rang one day. Stanley called, Oga, please, do you know anybody in First Bank? I said, Stanley, what's the problem? Oh, I've been struggling. There was a young man who used to help me. We supplied diesel to Julius Berger, and that the guy had an accident and died. I had a contract with Julius Berger. Now I can't get the money. Can you introduce me to First Bank or anything? I said, do you have an account in First Bank? He said, yes. I said, please send me the account. And the Holy Spirit told me to send him 150 million naira.
Wow. And what year was this?
About maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
So he said when he got the money, he opened the phone fell off his hand. He ran and went to meet Pastor Paul Olenchi, who is his pastor. Olenchi telling me you haven't seen anything.
Wow.
And today Stanley is a billionaire.
Yes, he is.
So, and I shared in my joy, but it seemed that I saw a hunger. So there's something I saw in you. It was like very funny to me that it wasn't long. You asked me to speak and I speak on your event. You sent me a check of 1 million. I said, who is Steven giving me 1 million naira? But some people may not understand it. I told somebody a story yesterday that few years ago, customer came and I supplied goods to him like in my normal set. And when I finished, the guy gave me 2,000 naira. My staff thought I said, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. He didn't know I owned the company. I told him it's a gratification. I learned that service and he was happy. I didn't reject it because there's a blessing in it.
Very true.
Okay? A customer gave me 2,000 naira because I supply his goods. I made him happy and I took the money. So when you gave me that, I was like, what is he trying to prove and things like that? And then you repeated it again. So far in my few 3 years of here, I can almost say you've given me close to 5 million naira. And I was saying, why Steven is giving me this? So there's something I think you are hungry for and you are trying to tap from. And that's the association is becoming stronger and bonding every year. So that is it. That's how people create value,
Wow.
Early people are looking for what can I get from you? What can I get from you? That is a Dead Sea. What can you give out? So you need to create that relationship that Jesus said, anywhere this gospel is preached, the woman that used the oil to wash her feet, that story will be told, and all of those things, So we must learn it that some of us have been not properly taught how to reach and tap grace.
Yes. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, hasn't this been something? Again, a beautiful episode of the Billionaire Habits and podcast, and I'm super excited. My guest has been Dr. Cosmas Maduka. Humbling story, but we can see the result has terminated all the insults. So if you're watching this, I want you to help me comment and thank him for coming. This podcast series is rare. You hardly will see something like this. You hardly will see this caliber of people on a podcast. Like he told you, it's the first time he's even doing a podcast. And that's what we want to do here. And for us, it's a way of helping the younger generation to tap into the older generation. I always say that when the strength of the youth meets with the wisdom of the old, miracle will happen. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.